This is going to be my review of the Burton Cummings and his band concert from Hopewell, Virginia, October the 1st, 2024, on the 60th anniversary Hits Tour, is what they call it. I got no notes for this. I'm just going to go and just talk about what I saw and what I liked and what I didn't like. And so, this was at the Beacon Theater. And I said this in the videos, in the opening video for the show there, that I've never been a fan of Guess Who or Burton Cummings solo. Like, I've never owned anything by them, but I just knew that he was a good live performer. And this is about as good as the Beacon Theater has to offer, because mostly their shows are tribute bands, which is, you know, fine if people want to go do that, but it's definitely not for some people. It's definitely not for me. I don't care for tribute bands, but there's a lot of those at the schedule for the Beacon Theater. But Burton Cummings, one of the best artists that has been scheduled there in the last like couple of years. And for the prices were like range from about 100 and maybe 120 for the most expensive right in the front. I saw like 102 on the last day for almost the front row, and that's for there's two sections really. I mean, not two sections, there's two floors, and the balcony section is, of course, what I did. Those range from 87 to 67. I got one for 67 at the last minute, and just at the very top, and it's even the view from up there is just, it's fine. It's not a big theater, but packed house. And one of the good things about it is that the sound in it is very good. What they call the acoustics. It just sounds very good. It's not muffled. It's not spacious. It's just right. The thing that is not good about it is that it's an old theater, and of course that has a charm to it, but the seating is very cramped. It's people have to stand up and sometimes even walk out of the aisle if someone's coming back in or out, like to get beer or go have a restroom break. And so that's annoying, and it's just very tight, which is kind of good because it's, you know, you're kind of close with people if you like that. But as far as standing up and moving, you can't really do that. Now, it might be different at some of the tribute band shows, like the Motley Crue tribute bands and, like, you know, rocking stuff like that with slightly younger audiences. And I haven't been to those, so it might be a little different. People might be all standing up at those shows. I don't know. But for this one, a ton of boomers here, and pretty much everyone is sitting down the whole time. So the hits songs for like the Guess Who and I guess Burton Cummings solo are just good. I mean, they sounded very good live. I liked how he did talk about gold records. So he kept alluding back to his gold records and how proud he was of the gold records, and how one of the greatest sights in the world is the morning sun reflecting off your gold records in your house. Like, really good stuff. Like, but one of the other, and so he plays mostly the keyboard, and he also did like a flute on one song, which he kind of joked about. He's got a pretty good sense of humor. Like, at one point he was trying to make the keyboard have a exact piano sound. He's like, push the wrong button and stuff like that. But there's also this weird thing about a Guess Who cover band that he mentioned at the beginning. Like, I think it was maybe members of the band that there was some kind of lawsuit, and I guess he won. I haven't really followed that, but he did, you know, mention that. And I don't know if there's an animosity towards Randy Bachman or not. It sounded like there wasn't, but he did make a joke about this is the greatest song that Randy Bachman wrote that wasn't co-written. He was talking about himself. So he had the audience, really, laughing and just having a good time. But I guess the highlights would be the song he did. There was a solo song that he did, and he prefaced it by mentioning this. He said, I think it might be called "Sad Song" or something. Someone might be able to help me out on this one, but it was maybe his first solo album. He talked about how he was with this woman that left for a lot of years, and she left him, and he was like all down about it, and that's what the song is about. And it's kind of it's kind of a ballad thing, but that thing was really good. I mean, that was like awesome. I don't know if it's like the studio version is good, but that live was like real. He was really emotionally into it and had a great sound. So I like that song. I also liked his. He did a J.J. Cale cover called "Trouble in the City," and which he asked the audience to sing the chorus, which was kind of cool. And I was not familiar with this song, but I really liked the song. It was a lot of fun live, and kind of, I guess I'd like a lot of appreciation for J.J. Cale as a songwriter, just real catchy. There's also a real rock number that I think he said was 2 minutes or something. I don't know if it was a solo song or a Guess Who song, but that was really awesome. It was kind of towards the end. I have to look at the set list. There was one he did a Bob Dylan cover, "Knocking on Heaven's Door," where he kind of did the Bob Dylan voice in the song a little bit. It was really good. That was awesome. I didn't think he had that in him. I don't like other covers of that song as much, but that was awesome. I think the song "American Woman," I've never cared for that song at all. I don't hate it, but I've never cared for his or the stupid Kravitz one. It's just the Guess Who, and Lenny Kravitz one, but live, that was the most fun one. People were actually standing up for that one. Maybe they'd had a few adult beverages at that point, feeling kind of in the element. So that was awesome. And he was really into it. And then the rest, those the hit songs "These Eyes," that stuff, "Come Undun," the ones people love. It's fine. I don't love them, but they were good live. So he was really good. One thing that I really appreciated is that he was not long-winded when he was talking, before songs, setting up a song or introducing, talking about the history of it. He was very brief with it, so it was just enough to be a little humor and give you a little insight into the song. But it wasn't he didn't go on and on and on and get boring with it. That was one thing that dragged the Roger McGuinn show a year ago at the Beacon. That's you're going to get that going in, and he's a really good storyteller, but it's not really the kind of format that I like personally. But I think Burton Cummings did it just right, as far as being reflective enough, and not genuflecting and being all pompous about it. It was just enough. And he doesn't come off as someone with a big ego either, which is really good. The biggest surprise of the evening was the opening act. So I didn't know there was going to be an opening act. And this guy comes on stage. I thought it was just some kind of gimmick thing where some guy was going to do a little intro song to a little 1.5 minute guitar thing and then bring out the band. I thought maybe he was a member of the band, doing a little guitar solo or something, and then the band was going to come out and then join in with the song. But no, it was an opening act, and it was one guy who was a Harlem-born 29-year-old blues, but really blues, kind of jazz, R&B, but it was really bluesy music, guitar, just a guitar, sings. I don't know what kind of guitar it was, some kind of electric blues guitar, His name is Solomon Hicks. He mentioned it at the end. And at first I was like, okay, when's the act going to be up here? Then he kept going, like kept playing music. And he's standing up there, and he's got this other guy. He only has one other guy with him. I don't know this guy's name. He mentioned at the end, I got it on video, but I forget. But this guy's a real pro, too. I think he's just playing a bass or something. But Solomon Hicks played for about 30 minutes for the opener. I haven't seen an opening act in, like, forever. But this guy, he did this, like, Stevie Ray Vaughan cover, which I've never cared for him. And he did an Etta James cover. I forget the name of the song, and then he did a couple of his own. There's one called That's What the Devil Loves or something. It was like just really unique and different and just bluesy, and this guy had this voice that was like this great voice, and he could really play the guitar. He could just really enunciate the words well, and this guy, he looked good. Like, he had this like black pants, black boots, a sports coat with this like white kind of dress shirt, and nicely cropped hair. This guy was just freaking awesome. And it turns out that he's not some schmuck. He's an actual like performer. I mean, you can look him up on like Wikipedia. He's played with some huge name artists, I guess live or whatever, but he's only 29 years old. This guy's an incredible talent. I'm telling you, he's really, really good. And he was real. He didn't try to like steal the spotlight either. He was real, respectful to the main act. Like, we got the legendary Burton Cummings coming up, guys. Like, he said that a couple times. So those guys were incredible. Like, that was like a big surprise, and people really enjoyed it. So a great opening act. And as far as Burton Cummings, as far as this band, Burton Cummings band, like, there's nothing really to complain about. They were just really good. I can't really break it down individually because I'm not great with music instruments, but the band is really good. Most of these younger people, there's a guy who does like little bongos or something, a little like tambourine or something, and then there's a couple of guitar players, a good drummer. So I think it's like a five piece, 6 maybe, including Burton Cummings. But really good band. That's one reason I went, because the full band's got the full band sound. The full band sound was great on really all the songs. I can't think of one where it was bad, but Burton Cummings' voice was there were a couple ones where he didn't sound that great, like on like These Eyes, I think was sounded a little weak, I think, just to like nitpick, but overall, like, he could really belt it out. And at one point at the end, when he was doing this real loud rock number, I was even thinking, like, is there a little voice enhancement being used here, maybe? Like, just because, like, we don't trust everything today with the way some of these artists do, like Don Henley, but I think it's real. Like, he's really, really, he had a great voice for 76 years old, and definitely worth the money for the show. If you haven't seen this tour, and it's coming, I think it goes through next year too, so check it out. It's definitely worth, I think it's reasonably priced. The band puts on a great show. Another thing about the Beacon Theater is, I like a lot of things about it, but the experience was a little bit, the people in the row around were a little closed off and kind of like, I don't know, they're a little snooty and not talkative, which kind of dampened the experience a little bit. So it'd be funny if there's people who went to that show or watching it. Hey, it's that loser I was sitting beside at the show. Sorry, guys. Just kind of wish y'all talked a little more. But okay, so that's my review of the Burton Cummings and his band show. Really glad to go see this one. Probably the only Peter's only show of 2024. It's here at the Yorktown Beach area. A little cloudy today, but I see a little sky coming out there. So I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I'm trying to think if I forgot anything about this concert that needs to be said. If I find the set list, I'll post it down below. But anyway, yeah. And if anyone knows the song of the title of that ballad he did, he said it was like it charted. He alluded to a lot of songs charting and like hitting the Billboard that I'd never heard of before. But that's probably just because I haven't followed them well, and because the radio stations only play like 2 or 3 of the Guess Who's songs. But the Wolfman, what's it called? Clap for the Wolfman or something? Awesome. Really good early song in the show. That's really, really good. That's a Burton Cummings solo song. So that was a great highlight. Alright, amigos. Thanks for watching my review of Burton Cummings and his band.